This is Primal Valley. Or at least what once was Primal Valley, because a lot of things happen. That's all I'm gonna say. A lot of things fucking happen. I've done a lot of things in VRChat, and I've done a lot of things that I consider really cool, and a lot of things that really changed my life, and it was just fun, you know? It was just great. It was cool. One of those things that I thought was really cool at the time was I got to have early access to Primal Valley. Primal Valley! Holy shit, Primal Valley! Before I get into what Primal Valley is and all that stuff, let me give you a little recap, a little story, if you will. Back in 2018, when I used to be a part of this, little friend group that kind of saved my life. Wow, do I sound like a broken record or what? But basically, long story short, they happen to know some people. One of those people in question happens to be someone who was working on this RPG within VRChat. Keep in mind, this was around like late 2018 to like the beginning of 2019-ish. But basically, the premise is that we woke up in this valley, if you will, this like giant chasm, and we don't know what's going on, and we got to figure that out. And I would like to say more, but this map is broken. In this video, I just want to go down a bit of memory lane and talk about Primal Valley and the bit of unfortunateness that this world will never come to completion. And even with that being said, it's pretty much a husk of what it once was. So let's get to it, shall we? Okay, so this is where you spawn in Primal Valley, and there's a big block of text right here. It says, wait for your friends here. Everything in Primal Valley should be synchronized pretty decently, but it is advised to wait for your friends here if you are planning to check it out together. The adventure starts right beyond this point. Please note that everything here, especially the forest, looks much worse with VR low than VR high settings. Right, yeah, there was a lot of ways how we had to get over bad frame rate in VRChat. It was a mess. It was a mess, to say the least. But anyways, we hit OK and go along. And this is where we will immediately see that the game is broken. Once we come up to this point, an NPC is supposed to show up and sort of show us around. But unfortunately, due to VRChat breaking like the little bitch that it is, he doesn't walk up at all. In fact, there he is over there. He would basically come up and basically like talk to you, and he'd be like, hey, what are you doing in this valley? How'd you even get here? And he considers us suspicious, and in his defense, I don't really blame him. If I saw a bunch of anime girls, walking into a valley when it's just a bunch of hyper-realistic humans, I'd be a bit concerned and suspicious as well. We'll ignore him because there's really nothing we could do, so let's move forth. If I remember, there's a little Benoy. Yes, Benoy! Little Benoy! Little Benoy! I'm so sorry, my feet was in the way, but little Benoy. You would come up here, right? And this would be a bit of controls because it has its own unique menu. For VR, you press the X or the A buttons for the Oculus Store version. I guess this was back then when I guess you couldn't use the Oculus on Steam? Is that what it was for? I don't know why it specifically says that. But basically what it means is holding... Wait a minute, hang on, did I do something wrong? Hold on, wait. Oh, A button, which is jump. Am I doing something wrong? Wait, maybe it's hold X? Wait, that's my... Okay, so the menu no longer exists. Gotcha. Now, in the original version of this game, the NPC that we talked to would take us down to the main parts of the valley via his horse. I guess. And obviously, since he's a little sick today, we cannot do anything with it, which kind of sucks. So instead, what we're gonna do is cheat. I have this Izuku Midoriya avatar that allows me to fly, if you will. I can float and whatever. You may remember me using this in a video where I talked about avatar search worlds, when I'm more right than... So you would go through, the NPC would talk to you for a little bit, maybe tell you a little bit of a story, maybe tell you a little bit about what's going on. You'll see the Primal Valley logo. It won't show up because, again, this game is fucking broken. Anyways, so he will take you all the way out here. This is basically the NPC's little camp. There's a bunch of cows right here, and if we remove this log, yaga yeet, then the cows will start moving here. Be free, my pretties, be free. Look at you, look at you. You can ride them. There's this little hammer here. I think it's Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, and it's to toggle a mirror. Kinda cool, kinda cool. But we'll get rid of that because we're not mirror dwelling. Anyways, so around this part, the NPC would basically tell you, hey, we need some food, so go kill some rats. He'll give you a rusted sword, and you gotta go kill those rats over there. Now, unfortunately, since the NPC doesn't show up because gee, I wonder why, you would kill the rats and he would tell you about some things about exploring the valley and watch out for the wolves or whatever. And that was basically where the demo ended. It was short, yes, but it was a sneak peek to something that could have been really amazing. Now, I know how kind of boring this seems, right? I'm just kind of showing you around a world of what once was. Technically, I've made a video on this world in the past, a little after I got early access to it and when it fully came out to the public. I made a video basically just kind of briefly going over it and how I looked forward to this game. Hell, the swords, if you were a desktop user, you didn't have to like swing your head around like a dumbass. You could left click and it would do like a little swinging animation to help out the desktop users, which is great. Now there is one section over there that houses a bunch of horses that you were able to actually ride and bring around. Now, I'm gonna assume maybe the horses are there, but whether or not they function is beyond me. So let's go take a look. And the horses are still here. But do they still function is the question. I am the ultimate horse rider. But yeah, that's kind of all I can really say about Primal Valley. So the dealio, right? There's a lot more you could explore, but I don't think there's really anything. I think there might be wolves somewhere where you can find, and you would hypothetically be able to fight them, but I don't remember where they are, and this place is pretty decently big, so, you know, I guess there's that, you know? I guess a little bit of history. Why has this game been broken for so long, and why is it not being fixed up or anything by the original map creator? Well, I don't know the exact situation or everything, so do take everything I say with a grain of salt, okay? Like I said, before, when I first played this, it was basically like I had early access. I had to play with a group of friends and whatnot, right? And it was fun. It was cool. It was like feeling something special. I wasn't even a VRChat content creator. I just happened to make VRChat content, and that was before I started doing a lot of streams and videos on this game. It was crazy, right? A little after a while, when I made my video, which, by the way, I forgot to mention, the creator of the map actually acknowledged my old video, which I thought was fucking insane. It was really cool. But anyways, when VRChat started going through some updates, primarily when it was getting Unity. I think it was Unity 2018 it was upgrading to at the time. I don't know. I remember it was like around the start of 2019. It updated its version of Unity, and that caused a lot of worlds to start breaking. Either certain things didn't function the same way they did, or they just didn't function at all, making it kind of a weird little hellscape for everybody, and it just wasn't all that great. And Primal Valley was no different. However, it's gotten broken so much more that, well, remember how the NPC from before was just standing there? Originally, it was at the very front where they were supposed to walk up to like, converse with you. I don't know what happened in that core. I just realized I'm also getting a lot of stutters. That's fun. I love lagging. I keep seeing the Steam thing. Stop! Now, these issues could have been fixed via the map creators, you know, going back and fixing things up. However, and again, this is where you gotta take things with a grain of salt, I saw a tweet or a post from the Discord server that they used to have where I believe they've lost the map files. I don't know if it was because they got corrupted or if they got like a new PC and they lost everything or what have you, right? But basically what that meant is that even if they wanted to, they could not update Primal Valley because they didn't have the original map files or whatever it is for Unity maps for VRChat. But yeah, that's basically Primal Valley. If you're wondering where I am now, I'm in this little world, which I believe was like a passageway that eventually led to Primal Valley. This was back before it came out to the public and all that stuff. I went in here because we were lagging in the other world and things were happening. It was all broken. But in any case, yeah, unfortunately, Primal Valley, it's just never going to be fixed. But I wanted to make this video to kind of reflect on that for a bit, because I haven't really talked much about Primal Valley since when I originally played it and talked about it in the past with some friends and whatnot. This was back when VRChat worlds were really simple, and I'm talking extremely fucking simple. Like, I want you guys to think about how VRChat worlds are these days, and then crank that down to like nothing. We had virtually nothing. It's not that we didn't have game worlds in VRChat at the time, far from it. We had quite a bit of worlds. We even had full-on adventure maps, but they're obviously not that much compared to what they are now in this day and age. And it's not to downplay what we did have back then. I mean, say what you want about the first Dark Waters. Trust me, I'll say a lot about that fucking... But it goes to show that these people tried to make the best out of what they could from VRChat. And while Primal Valley's VRChat RPG sort of like selling point wasn't fully visualized due to these issues, it doesn't mean that we don't have any form of alternative. There are games like ProjectShiva, which is basically trying to bring the concept of Sword Art Online into VRChat with a full-on save system, RPG elements, weapon skills, all that kind of stuff. So RPGs in VRChat, they're a thing still. If anything, they're a lot more possible now than what they were back then. And while that's great, well, admittedly, I kind of wish I would have gotten to see what Primal Valley would have become had it not, gotten scrapped due to all the crap that went down with it. I wouldn't say that this is one of my favorite VRChat worlds of all time, but it holds some good memories. Memories that I thoroughly enjoy. I know this video is kind of short, not really anything too special, but I kind of like making these sort of videos of me just talking in VRChat. It's been a while since I've done one, and I kind of want to do a little more. So, if you do like me talking about random stupid VRChat shit for the sake of it, because I got nothing better to do and I don't want to edit other videos, like or something like that, gamer. I mean, who knows? If this turns out to do pretty well, then we'll probably do some more VRChat videos, because I think it could be a lot of fun. It would give me an actual reason to hop on VRChat more often, even if it is just by myself. Anyways, that's all I got for now. Thank you guys for watching this video and hearing me yap about Primal Valley, and I'll see you all in the next video whenever I get that out. Have a good day, night, afternoon, whatever it is where you're at when you're watching this video, and just be sure to have a good one.